And I think we're live. I think we're live for a little bit tonight. Do a little coin searching, a little package opening. I do believe we're live. Ah, da, 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 da. Let's see if old Streamlabs is here. All right. That is. Streamlabs looks like it's working. Test the old hit button. Hit button looks like it works. Holy smokes, where's all the hearts coming from? Obviously there's a glitch because I never get no hearts. Is this... let's see. Is this gonna be another roll of... $2,000 P's? Kind of looks like it. Kind of looks like it. But we're going to do nickels first. And I'm going to scoot in here. Try to get the nickels close enough to see what we're getting. Alright, that should work. Roll number 1. There's obviously a glitch because I don't know where all those hearts are coming from. And 100%ers. 3 nickel rolls tonight. And we're gonna search for the Wounded Eagle again. There we go. There you can see 2,000. Mint issued roll. Crazy. I got like 5 of these. So 3 nickel rolls, that dollar roll, and then a box of whatnot buy. I can get this nickel roll going. Come on. Trying to do this so we can see if there's any edges. That ain't gonna work. Well, it don't look like it. Don't look like anything's too crazy. Clean up here a little bit. And we'll go through each one of these. 1964. 21. We'll give it the check just to make sure we ain't looking at any type of error. 41. There's the first hit of the. Where do I gotta be here? Obviously way too close. So 41, first hit of the night. What do we want in a 41? I didn't even pull up my numbers yet. We are looking for an S or a D, so we just want a mint mark for the most part. Oh, it's the S. It's actually the best. No. Yes, it is. 43 million. That is an S, isn't it? That is. So that was pretty good. Got the best one. Rasbo. What's up? First hit of night is a 41S. What did I say? 43 million. We'll send that over to the scope in a little bit. $59. 2 nickels later. The next hit of the night. 59. We are going to want. Definitely going to want the Philadelphia. Denver is 160. Philadelphia is only 28. Can we go 2 for 2 on the best nickel out of the year? No, Denver on that one. But still 59. Yeah, what's up, Raz? Haven't seen you in a while. Of course, I don't know. I've been trying to go once a week or so. Get on, do a couple rolls. 83D, and not a bad looking one. That's going to be set aside. It's not a hit, but it's a good looking 83. You always got to save the 82s and 83s because there were no mint sets or proof sets. There's a beat up. 21. 12. I gotta figure out where I gotta be here to be clear. Oh, there's a 24. We keep all 24s. I'm not giving the 24s the hit button just because they're such a, I mean, it's a extremely modern nickel. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I definitely am, if that's a question. But we got a new season coming. Won't be long. They'll be playing again. I picked up watching the WNBA. Essentially because there was a young lady from our hometown that played for UCLA this year, and she was drafted on Monday night by Connecticut, I believe. So I've become kind of a WNBA fan. 23. 15. I gotta get a little closer because they don't want to You don't want to focus at that distance there, I guess. How's the sound and everything, Raz? I haven't had anybody give me the customary sound check. I know the focus should be okay as long as I get the coin at the right distance, so. Ooh, is that a little bit of a... Oh, for a second I thought there was a crack or something, but I guess not. 87 with gunk on it. There's why I like to wear gloves when I do rolls. 95. Yeah, she was... she went 15, so last pick of the first round to Connecticut. The Lynx got that Olivia Miles out of TCU. 81p. So I don't essentially have a team. Like for football, I'm completely a Packers fan, hardcore Packers fan. I don't essentially have a WNBA team. I have a lot of players I like. So I follow a lot of different players, and then depending on what the game is, I will root for a player on a certain team or the team that they're playing for. So it's a little different bit of being a fan of the WNBA. 82, not in great shape. Probably just going to bypass it. That'll get scoped at some point on a Whatnot Live as I sit on Whatnot and do some scoping. 23. But yeah, that girl got, from our hometown here, got drafted to Connecticut. And then that was really the only Minnesota girl in the draft this year. 79. I was kind of bummed that the Lynx got rid of Bridget Carlton and Elena Smith because they are two of my top favorite players, and it was just kind of nice that they were in Minnesota, but they got picked up in the free agency, essentially that expansion draft that Portland and Toronto are coming into the league. So Minnesota lost them, which is kind of unfortunate. 96 with gunk. 64 Denver probably? Yeah, Denver. So I'm kind of looking forward to watching some basketball during the summer, and before we know it, we'll be back to the Packers. Back to the Packers playing. 82, another 82. Not keeping it though. 68. I gotta get it just at the right distance for the camera to really. 67. Now 67's not a nickel I come across a lot. Yes, still have Nafisa, but they say she ain't gonna play this year. Or was it this year that they were saying she wasn't gonna play, or at least a good portion of the year? Because of she had knee surgery on both ankles, I thought I heard. Yeah, let's take a look at Enders. Hard to tell. Looks fairly 2000-ish. And something in the teens. So nothing in the ends. Let's see how this screen popping back and forth works. Let's see how that camera's not bad, but it's definitely not one of my better cameras. It's definitely the worst of the three in all reality. Or I just don't have enough lighting on it. Alright, let's see if we can get a little better unroll here. Yeah, I just don't think Collier is going to really have that much of an effect this year. I think she's going to see the floor a whole lot. As far as the Minnesota team goes. I really like Marina Mabry. She's one of my favorites too, and I just saw that her sister signed a like a practice squad deal or something with I want to say it was the Portland Fire, the same team Marina's on. Nothing really looking like it's here. At least no silver, but I'm not that big of a silver chaser anyways, you know. I get more excited for hitting old stuff than hitting silver. 1000p. I just always like to give it the normal flip just to make sure we ain't got a big die crack or die chip or something on the reverse. Not that I won't catch it on a scoping stream. So, Raz, remember how I used to do all those scoping streams where I'd sit and scope? I now do that on the whatnot side because I can at least just have my whatnot running, and I just sit at the office and somebody wants to buy something out of the bin, they can take something out of the bin. Here's a 74D. I don't know if Buckner's has any Minnesota roots or not. I've never heard anything about her having Minnesota roots. Now that we're talking about it, I'm going to open up a pack of WNBA cards here at the end of this stream. I haven't opened up a pack of those. You always got packs sitting around, you know. $89p. Raz, are you hitting the hearts or something? Because I've never seen that happen before in chat and on a stream. Oh, there it quit. See, as soon as I say something, it quits. O2D, kind of a nice looking one, but definitely circulated. Not that I mind getting hearts and whatever that does. I don't know what that does on YouTube. 21. $18. Yeah, well, the thing is WNBA cards, they're actually, I think Prism has them and Donruss, and that's the only two brands that put out a card right now. Well, actually, there's a 24. I almost forgot to save it. Actually, that's not right, because you can get Panini 1 cards. There's a 69. Panini 1 and this one. What card is this? This is, oh yeah, Impeccable. But the only two like real affordable brands where you can afford to, you know, buy a box of hobby or a box of retail is Donruss and Prism right now. Everything else is, that almost looks broad-struck, doesn't it? Just a little bit. I could be really wrong, and I could just be seeing things that aren't there right now. What did I grab here to compare? 2000D. I don't know. I'm gonna set it aside. Just, it's got a like a flattening or something going on. I'm definitely not going to call it a hit or anything, but I'm just going to set it aside. What's that, an 80? Yeah, like an 80p. 13. I mean, I gotta get a little bit closer here. Either that or I'm going to pull out the camera just a hair. And I don't know if I like that as much. There's a scratched up 86. Come back in here. I like getting the coin close, you know. I like to have the coin easily seen on screen. Another 86. I always like to wear gloves. Number one, just because half the time you got gunk, you don't know what's on these and stuff. I typically won't wear gloves after the initial opening. And I've noticed wearing black gloves, I've played around a little bit with it. This looks like an older coin. I've played around with it a little bit. The lighting on the cameras and stuff seem a little bit better when it's not picking up the glare of like the skin color off your hands. All right, what do we think? Do we make 40s with this? Which would be a Philly. Oof, I was way off. It's an 82. That looked older. 65. That's a year that I don't see constantly. 64 Denver. Oh no, that's a Philly. 81. Uh, 87. 96. You notice I got no background music going, Raz? Well, actually, I think the last time you were in a stream, Raz, I almost am positive it was before my other computer crashed. This is a different computer and stuff, so I haven't essentially set up like to have the background music and stuff, and I don't even know if I'm going to. 1970. I may just leave the live streams the way they are. Add music to like the bangers video or something of the recap of the hits. And like I said, I'm doing a lot of different things on lives too. You know, we're gonna open up a box. This stuff that I bought, and a 14. So there's 2 rolls down. Last nickel roll. We essentially only hit really 2 old ones. And then I think there's a 24, and what did I set aside? A couple 82s. Or 2 24s, and then 182 I set aside, or an 83 I set aside. Just because it looked semi-nice. I don't know. Alright, let's see. I don't see anything overly dark on this either. I don't know if that's going to focus at all, but I don't see anything that stands out as silver, but like I said, I'll tell you the truth, I don't see anything that stands out as extremely old either, but maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky. 25 with a banged up, oh, basically a completely banged up. I'm not even saving that in my 25 tube. 91. I thought maybe that was a little bit of lamination or something up there, but just something on the coin. Oh, you don't have the I don't even think I don't think I turn the alarm on for any of my subscriptions to channels. I just sometimes they pop up and sometimes they do, or I get a little blue dot, you know, next to the channel name when a new video goes up, but I don't typically see anything about them going live. I don't know if I watch a whole lot of channels that essentially go live. This looked older, but not what we're looking for. About halfway through. This might be a no. Ooh, that is not a bad looking 62. For being a 62, that's going to get set aside. There's no steps. Steps are gonzo. Well, they're not really gone. But that is going to go in the 1962 tube for sure. I don't usually see them quite that nice in the 60s. There's a 69. Oh, it almost looked like a Philly with that speck under the D, but it's a Denver. '68S. Let's look at 68s quick. They're definitely not any type of short mint, I'm guessing. So there was only Denver and San Francisco at that point. 100 million on the nose for 68S. Just because it's an S, I'm going to keep it. But I'm not going to hit it, that's for sure. I'm not going to hit button it. Yeah, I do. I try to. I leave a lot of... I don't make a lot of comments on videos. I had somebody ask me the other day, for some reason. I'll typically leave... I'll leave, like, emojis for a comment. I'll leave 2 trees, a thumbs up, and then 2 trees. It's kind of like my signature comment on a video. Only because I'm not one with I'm not the personality type that feels my opinion really needs to be worth anything. I don't really need to give my opinion. You know what they say about opinions, so like I don't really need to be validated at all. My opinion shouldn't mean anything. In fact, I think I have it written in the channel, the description of this channel, that my opinion shouldn't mean anything to you. Yeah, and that's what I do, you know, for channels that I like to watch, and I like whoever does the channel. I leave it for the algorithm. You know, I know the comment helps them, so I'll drop them a 2 trees, a thumbs up, and 2 trees, just so they know I was there. Is that an S? I think that's an S. I haven't even got the... It's still only 120 million, but I think this might be an S. It was kind of hard to see. Yep. So I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but I like to just kind of save my S's even when they're... I mean, especially in the 60s or earlier, just because I like to... I don't know. There's just something about S's that it's like I feel like I should save them. Probably doesn't matter. But I just create tubes of things, you know. I'm kind of a goofy collector. My wife calls me a hoarder. $80. Down to about, I'd say 10 left. This is probably going to end up being a skunk roll. Yeah, I hate looking at dimes. I can't stand look. They're just too small, and my eyes are getting older, and for some reason, although I will say that I do think the new 2026 dime is a nice looking design. Now, I'm not a major fan of it, but I do kind of like it. It kind of is a throwback to Mercury dimes. But no, I do not collect dimes. I will typically, I've probably got a ton of dimes listed on the Whatnot page just because it's not one of my personal collection things. 62. What's 62D? 280 million. Sometimes you think you got something and you really got nothing. 17D. Another 62. 62 Philly this time is 110. And a corroded 83. Not going to worry about that. And then we are ending with an 80D, and that means this roll gets that. All right. Let's see. What button takes that away? That. All right. So this will be fun. Really just two oldies. And then what was this one? Oh, this was that nice 83. This was, what was this? Oh, this was that nice 62. I'm almost wondering, Raz, you think that's a proof? You think that was a proof? Or is that just a still good shape and well-struck 62? You think it's a proof that was been in circulation? Because it's got better sheen than I usually see on any 60s. Try to get it in the camera here. I don't know. I'm speculating on that one, and then I got a couple 24s that we hit. A couple. What was this? What was that one? 85. Oh, I probably just because it's a better sheen to 85. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you can see it's even sitting here, and it looks better than, most of them. Anyway, so let's get into this. We'll show it here first. So this is probably the third one of these that I've cracked on the channel of essentially uncirculated direct. Let's see, where does it say? Let's go over here. So directly from the US Mint. I've thought I should maybe keep one of these sealed, but it's like I can't not crack these and look for the Wounded Eagle on a high MS example. How could you not crack these? The last two rolls I've taken out of the 25 coins, I think I've taken out about 4 of them as true savers, like to the point of gradable. And then the rest of them have had carbon spots, or at least spotting to the point where they just didn't make it to my personal collection. So we'll see what this roll produces, and we'll put them under the scope and make sure we ain't looking at a Wounded Eagle, but you're going to be able to tell just in the camera view whether or not we hit it. And these are all, I mean, I can kind of probably get these to And they are what the wrapper said they are. All right, and we'll make a pile of discards and rejects, and then a pile of ones that possibly get kept. I don't like the chatter on her cheek and around her eye on that. And that one is kind of showing. You know, this was an ender. We'll take the two enders first. So the front and the back. I mean, that's not bad for the fact that it was an ender. A little bit more chatter, but I'm liking the fact that I'm not seeing a bunch of spots, but you probably wouldn't on the enders. And like I said, I mean, we could scope every one of these, but you're going to see it naked eye if it's there. And you can tell that, you know, this one's got a little bit more. There's a little bit of scuffing right there. But boy, these eagle heads are about as good as you're ever going to see. So I'm going to set that one aside because I don't think that one's a real keeper. Come back here. All right. I don't see any deep gashes in that one. We're going to look at these pretty close too. We're going to be scrutinizing here. We're not going to fly by them. So I think that's probably a set aside keep. Let's see. And I don't see any spotting. And I don't know if that's, well, there's a couple little gashes there. Yep, Raz, they're all 2000 Ps. The whole roll. A little bit of a, that maybe is a little bit of a scratch on that one. So this isn't grading. This isn't gradable at all. I got a couple that I might send to grading. And I don't know, there's a little ding there. I don't know if the spotting that was in the other roll, maybe it was just those two rolls. Okay, so I'm going to set that one as a possible keep. Because I don't really see a whole lot of spotting on any of these. And I don't know if it's water spotting or carbon spotting. So there's a little bit of a nick there, it looks like. I gotta get right at the right, a little bit of a ding on her cheek, it maybe looks like, but we always want to flip. We're just flipping it to see. Oh, see the microscope will actually bring out the spotting. That's the spotting that I think we're going to get on probably, I don't want to say the majority of the coins, but they're going to be on a handful of them. And they show up on the microscope, but not quite as much to the naked eye. I got to get to just the right spot. See, I mean, it's hard to see. You can see them a little bit. There, right there. You can kind of see the little bit of spotting. So we'll be able to pick them up naked eye. I'm going to put that in the spotting pile. There, see, like that one is very noticeable. So these are all going to have them, but there's just going to be a couple of them that aren't, I guess. We can look at the back. You can kind of see the spotting at the right angle. I think I saved 4 from the last roll that I was like, there's no spotting. Spotting there. No wounded eagle. I mean, it's a little hard to tell if you got a a Cheerio dollar from the, without looking at the scope to seeing if the tail feathers are detailed. But I don't think you would have a Cheerio coin in a mint roll like this, like an actual mint roll. I don't think you're going to have a Cheerio because those were put in those Cheerio packages. So it wouldn't have made it into a true mint roll. That one doesn't look bad. I don't see any spotting on that one. I see luster on that. Oh, and then we get one that looks like it's been rubbed. Yeah, it's got rub on it. So we get a good obverse on one, and then we kind of sink the ship on the reavers. It was right. Yeah, it's almost like it got some type of rub on it. So that's going to go to the reject pile. And next one. Typically, I don't like getting rolls of all the same coin because it's just not as fun as like searching. There's some spotting on this one. But these rolls, I was pretty excited to get these rolls. I was like, wow, you don't see these rolls that much. Next one. See, if I get it at the right angle with this camera, you will see the spotting. And it will show up really good on the scope. But we're just looking for maybe a couple to actually be able to be pulled out of this roll as saves. No, that one. Like I said, I don't know if that's carbon or if that's just like water spotting that took place over the time of them being in the rolls. But like I said, Raz, I can't see not cracking these rolls. Spotting. We might actually not get many at all. I've only pulled one that I feel like is a good no spotter. So you get the right angle and they stand out like mad. Of course, I wouldn't care if the coin had spotting if it was a wounded eagle. Because they are all, high MS grades. It's just, and I don't know if spotting like that would bring a coin down. We might be good on spotting on this one, at least on the obverse. Yeah, and that reverse looks nice. Maybe a little bit of scuff, contact scuffing up right around that E pluribus unum. Let's check this under the scope quick. Yeah, see, there's that coin's spot free except for maybe right there. Just eagle heads that are phenomenal. All right. That's going to be a save. That's a set aside. 4 rolls of early presidents. Mint rolled presidents? Straight up mint rolled presidents? See, and here's what the other roll was like too. The first one, or the second one where I pulled a couple out, it was like the coins that I pulled out with no spotting were all like they were together, if that makes sense. It's like you pulled 3 of them and then, yeah, I see, and that's the thing. See, like there's a good example of, what I'm essentially rejecting as saving into the collection. Spotting on the back. So now I'm guessing we're going to go a couple coins of spotting and then maybe get one or two more out of here that doesn't have it. I don't see any spotting on that, and that one actually, I don't see anything. Maybe a little bit on her, right at the transition of her cheek and chin there, maybe is a little. I don't see spotting on that. That one is going to be a save into the collection. Yeah, I agree, Raz. I think you're probably right. I don't think spotting probably brings the grade down that much. I mean, I don't like it from an eye appeal standpoint, but it is much more about the strike and the wear. No apparent. I don't know, do I set that one aside? Doesn't really look like there's spotting too bad on that one. I'm going to put that in the reject pile. I've got 4 I've set aside already. And I like to kind of send a lot of my dollars back to the bank because then it keeps me in money to buy more rolls. Definitely spotting there. Hit the right angle and you'll not as bad on the obverse. I don't see any major spotting being picked up on that one. And I don't really see it there. That's gonna go in the save pile. So I'm at $5 on the save pile now, which is better than the first 2 rolls were. And I think this one is too, because I am not seeing spotting jump out on a check there. That's a save, so 2 in a row. I think I posted a video of doing the first or second roll of these. There we go. There's spotting. I was kind of hoping I was gonna get a couple more to put back into the bank. I'm not typically a collector of these Susan B. Anthony's, of these Sacagaweas, but when you get a roll of them that are this nice, you just got to save a handful. Nothing in there. I don't know. Is that a save coin? I think there's a little too much chatter in her base for me to hang on to that one. Maybe I sell it. I don't know. Maybe I'll flip that one. I don't know. Even though I'm not really a flipper or reseller. Looks like there's a good ding on her forehead there. But I don't see the spotting that we're dealing with. I don't know. That's almost like a middle tier one for me, but it'll go to the reject pile for now. Two left. 2 left. That one's not bad. Depending on the reverse, this one might be a save. Let's see what the reverse looks like. There's one, I don't know if I can keep it at the right angle here, but there's one line that, it's not even essentially like a scratch because it'll disappear at a certain angle. But I don't know if you can see that line across the top of the E there. E pluribus. I'm going to save this coin though. This one's, other than that, that's getting pretty good there. Most circulating coins at the top of it. Yeah, 667 is a good circulated coin. business strike, if you want to call it that. That's a good business strike grade. This one's not too bad. Looks like there's 2 dings right. So I can get it to 2 dings right at the Y in Liberty. I don't see spotting though on the reverse, and I don't really see. You know, here's how I kind of look at it, Raz, and I don't know, maybe it's not right way to do it, but I look at a coin like if I'm possibly thinking about grading it, you know, how many eye-catching dings does it have? You know, so like let's just do it on this one for, you know, I think there's 1 or 2 in her face for sure, and they're not even really dings. They just might not be, you know, where the coin's got a little discoloration, you know. But then like the 2 dings at the Y. This is the last coin, so let's put it under the scope and see if those show up on the scope. See, there they are. What I was seeing naked eye-wise through the camera, and they're not bad dings, but they're still dings. I may save this coin though. This may go to the save pile. That'll give me how many out of this roll? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be 8. If I save this one, I'll be saving 8. You know, and this one ain't got any spotting, so I'll take 1 or 2, maybe 3 eye-catching flaws with no spotting, and I'll keep. I don't have a problem doing that. Try to keep those from essentially touching each other. Oh, I completely agree. I just think I'm gonna have fun trying to see what I get. You know, I'm not trying to make money on them or anything like that. It's almost more of just kind of a chase thing of, you know, can't. But I absolutely agree with, if you want graded coins, buy graded coins. You know, for sure. And I have been buying some graded coins. I think I got a couple 50 proofs and stuff that I had picked up. But no, you're absolutely right. All right. So this is a whatnot buy from, if I remember right, his username is R4 Mike, and I bought a couple things from him over a time period here, just because he's a pretty good guy. He seems like a good guy, and he's got some pretty nice stuff occasionally. I don't buy from a lot of people, but every now and then there's somebody I'm like, I don't mind buying from this person. Let's see, how does this box open? I have no clue. Maybe it's one of those side things here. Yeah, I think we done. Alright. Now we're getting there. Probably could have took some more tape off of things. This one thing. I think this was the first thing I bought, and then I was like, well, I gotta buy a couple more things. Alright. Just because it's a better camera and better view, let's go here and see. I don't really remember all of what I bought, but okay, so he had uncirculated rolls of the new nickels. So, and he was selling essentially a flip with two in it, one from the D and one from Philly. So I suppose I've already found these in nickel rolls. I've already hunted probably 6 of these, but I didn't have any that essentially came out of a close to an uncirculated roll. So I was like, well, I'm going to get a couple of these. And he wasn't bad on these. I don't remember what I paid, but it didn't hurt. I bought 2 sets of them. You know, and he's still selling them out of that roll, I believe. You know, and it may not be the last set of them I buy. I don't, you know, they don't look gradable. I mean, there's an eye-catching ding on that one right there. So, but just to get some more in the collection. They look all right. This was one of the main buys. This might have been my first or second buy. So basically an N or an MS, who knows where it falls, but a 50D, get it at the right distance to the camera. Pretty good example of a 50 Denver there. I don't think that's seen circulation, so. And then this was the other thing that I grabbed from him. Any full steps? Yeah, I think most of the 26s that I got from him. Well, that one's got a ding on the bottom. You can see the ding right on the bottom. You know, so that one you can say no. That one, I would say, is maybe got a chance. It's hard for me to hold them too, but steady and then give you guys a good look. It's kind of got the ding on the bottom there on the towards the right hand side on that one too. So I don't know if that one would qualify. And then I don't like kind of what's in the middle on towards the bottom on that one. On the left, below the left pillar. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. We can come over here and that's what I was seeing there. So that one, where's the one I thought maybe? I think that one's probably full steps. There's not a flaw on that one. Let's take a look at this one. See, there's that ding right there. I gotta move it up a little bit. There's the ding right there that I was essentially seeing. So, just some good examples to have in the collection. Like I said, I don't know if there's anything grading there. So this here, he gets these old rolls sometimes. And, you know, I don't know how searched they are. I'm not sure how searched they are. Let's see, what is this? It says Block and Company in Chicago. Or Jeff's. This is just his sale number, that sticker there. That probably comes off. It says keep with a check mark. And then it said, what is this? Mostly 1946. And he opened these, the end of this, and the first couple that came out were not 46s. They were, I think they were in the 30s. So I'm going to just, we're going to search this roll. We don't know exactly what's in here. Yeah, so this, I must have started on the end that he took the first 2 or 3 off of. So there's a 38. There's another 38. Maybe this will be a 38 roll. I don't know what it is. Another 38. Well worn. There's a 39. You know, so mostly, I mean, it's probably gonna be mostly 46 at some point. Take the next one. So there's a 40. Here's a 38. So it's definitely an old roll that some collector, you know, I'm what, almost 10 coins in now, and I don't think I've hit a single 1940 or 1946. No, I haven't. Maybe we'll get to some. There's the first 46. It's a 46S. What is a 46S? That's 13 million. I mean, this, I kind of knew what this was, but I think that's still a hit for a buy. Take a handful of 46S's if that's what's in here. There's a 40. That's a 40D. Suppose I can come over here and show you that I'm taking out. So here's a 40. That's a 40D. There's another 39. Yeah, maybe some more nickels will come out of here. He said he didn't essentially take them all out and look at them. He just basically bought the roll, and then, you know, he's a reseller. So there's another 46. That's another 46S. So another 46, another 46S. Okay, now maybe we're to the rest of the roll being 46S. And the first half, there's another S. And the first half being, oh, there's a D. So we still have the possibility of getting some other stuff, I guess. But I'm guessing we're going to see a bunch of 46S's now for the next 10, 12 coins. Yeah. Which I can't complain, you know. A roll full of 46S at 13 million. With a couple 30s, 38s, and 39s sprinkled in. I mean, none of them are in great shape. That's not a bad one. Oh, as soon as I turn it over, I'm like, that's not a bad one. And it's terrible. Another, yeah. So initially, I'm guessing this roll back in the day, whatever collector was putting this together, was saving a bunch of 46S's. And then, or D's. And then towards the end of it, they just topped it off with a bunch of 38s. And a couple 39s. I don't remember what I paid for this. But, oh, there's a 42, so that's a little different. What are we going to see in a 42? I mean, it's in terrible shape. 42 Philly, I guess. And what are the last couple going to be? We're going to snag a couple more. I mean, if I can get an error out of these anywhere, you know, like a lamination error or a die chip or crack or something like that, then I'm already happy with this roll. It doesn't matter. Bunch of 46. Anybody needs a 46S that sees this video, and if you don't care what shape it's in. I'll go through and pick out the best ones. And what do we got? There we are. Empty. That was kind of confusing me. MOST, and then I was like, IX, but it means mostly. And it's right. It's exactly what it was, mostly 46. But I guess I didn't realize, and he probably didn't, you know, really realize that it was going to be mostly 46 S's. What do we got? 4 coins left. I mean, it's the best 46 you're gonna find. Philly is 161 million, and the Denver is 45 million, and all these S's are 13 million, 13.5 million essentially. So here's a 40, another 40 Denver, and probably another 40 Denver, and the last one of the roll, 40 Philly. What's 40 Philly at? 176 million. So, I don't know. I'm happy with that buy. Let me know what you think. Yeah, they're all circulated. They got a lot of wear on them, but probably rarely going to end up roll hunting a 46S, I'm guessing. And where did I put it? I know I took it out. And probably never going to well, I should say you're never going to, but not likely to roll hunt a 50 Denver in that condition. Let's look at the steps on that under the scope. I mean, that's not bad for a 50 Denver. Is it full? No, it's not full. But those are not bad steps for, and we'll spin the coin here for a second. Good looking steps. I don't see any eye-catching marks on the bottom half of the reverse. D's still looking good. There's nothing. There's no way this circulated. There's a little bit of a green thing there that probably will rub off with my finger, I'm guessing. I don't know. And then a little bit there. I don't see any eye-catching marks in the fields on the reverse at all. Granted, the buildings wore down, you know, but there's still some pillars. Windows are still good. The edges of the building are all sharp. Let's look at the I'm gonna move this back just a little bit so you can get a little bit more of what I'm doing here. I mean, just still a strong strike. Try to focus this just a hair more. You know, now under the scope, little bit of a chin scuff right there. And I think that is probably the most noticeable mark. Couple little scuffs right here. I'm guessing, unless I want to spend big money, and like big money, probably one of the best 50Ds I'll ever have. I get just at the right distance there. Looks like there might be a little bit just right there on his high cheek there, which is about the same as that lower chin there, but I do like that. I do like that nickel. That is a when you consider all in all what it is, that is a minty looking 50 Denver. All right, Raz, you still here? Let's do a pack of WNBA. It says there's, I don't know, my concurrent viewers have gone up and down for the whole hour I've been on. I was up at 5. I was up as high as 5 at one point. There might be lurkers. So 2025 Donruss. I just grab a pack out of the stash and we see what we get. Oh, I grabbed a it's got to be like a jersey card, a mem card, so mostly UConn. Yeah, I mean I follow them all. I don't have a team, if that makes sense. Let's see if I can. I'll pull this back a little bit. And I'll do this. There we go. Brianna Stewart. So, like I said, I'm more of a particular player collector now with WNBA. And I keep Brianna Stewart cards. Maybe not base cards and stuff, but Bridget Carleton, probably my favorite player in the league. Unfortunately, she's no longer with Minnesota. Nika Mule. J.C. Sheldon. Elena Smith. So I basically hit my 2 favorites. You know, on base cards. Ugumene. I can never pronounce her name right. McCowan. Van Loo. All these players now, too, I mean, a good majority of them are all on different teams and stuff now, so it's like most of these cards aren't even their current teams. Gabby Williams. I do like Gabby Williams. Aaliyah Edwards. McGregor. I always just call her Ezzy, because that's another name I can't pronounce half the time. James on the rated. I think you get 2 rated rookies. Okay, here's the mem card. So let's go to the back. So Diamond Miller was going to be our kind of foil one in every pack. And then a Net Marvels. What are we going to get for Net Marvels? Where's the team? Oh, Skylar Diggins. It's not a press proof. But that's a good. I like Skylar Diggins. Nothing wrong with Skylar Diggins. And then I think the last card is the mem card, and it was a Chicago. Oof. I was initially thinking so it'd be cool to get a Sophie Cunningham, but she's not on Chicago Sky. I don't know who's on Chicago Sky, to tell you the truth. Well, let's just flip it. Hopefully it's a good player. Oh, here we go. It's a rookie jersey of Haley Van Lith. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed that Donruss actually has a little bit of color in their patch. So to me, that's not a bad hit. That's probably a keep card. I'd probably do not. I probably don't list that card. Looks like there might be a little thing right on the Chicago. That might come off though at some point. But I am impressed with the fact, because usually you just get a blank, one color patch, with any type of retail product. Let's see what these say for, which is typical for the retail memorabilia not associated with any specific player, game, or event. Still a cool card to hit though. Rookie jersey. All right, I think I'm going to call it a night. I got some coins to log and stuff there, Raz. Thanks for hanging out for an hour. These are still the streams that I have fun with. Me and maybe one guy hanging out, looking at stuff and opening up stuff and just BSing. I know, if I remember right, you said you don't really do any whatnot hanging out or anything, but if you ever do, look me up. I'm like, that's where I'll just hang out and BS and do scoping of things, and I don't do auctions, and I'm not like trying to sell 25 things a night. Most of the time I don't sell anything during the night. I just sit and BS. And nice thing about whatnot is you can actually have music on and stuff, and you don't get muted. So I sit and scope stuff, coins, maybe open a couple packs, BS with whoever shows up. But all right, Raz, thanks. Like I said, good talking to you. It was neat to have you pop back in. I gotta see if my points went up now. Raz, you gotta be way up there in points. I think I use coins. I do remember, right? I started the night with 17. I can check the dashboard, Raz. See, you got to be above everybody now, probably in coins and in stream time. You're third in points and third in No, your hours. I didn't sort it. You're most in hours. You've hung out for 18 hours with me. The next guy's got 10. Points, you're third. That's just because the who's first and second. Littlefoot and Tim are first and second, but that's because they gamble all the time and stuff. They're manipulating their points for the most part. All right, I don't know who else is here, if anybody else is lurking or anything, but Raz, thanks for hanging out. Good to talk to you. We'll see you. Hopefully, I'll get on sometime again. Maybe this weekend, actually. I always say that, and then it never really happens, but I try to do once a week just to search some roles because I really don't search roles other than going live to do it. So, like I said, it's always fun to do it with somebody who's going to hang out and chit chat a little bit. I hear the boys home, so I'm going to hit the log off button and call it an evening. Anybody still hanging out? Thanks for lurking.